Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Faith Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Now the headline. Sokoto residents protest bandits' grip on several local government areas. Ministry pledges transparent probe into ABU students' death. 2027 PDP obedience tackle Wike over Jonathan and Obi. And terrorism trial, federal government may seek Ekpa's repatriation after Finland's 6-year jail term. Fire destroys radio studio in Oyo Varsity. On business news, Nigerian government sets up committee to address foreign missions death. On foreign scene still, Madagascar receives call of beheaded king returned by France. On sports news, 13 players hit Super Eagles camp for Rwanda-South Africa games. Now the news. The wave of banditry in Sokoto state has reached an alarming level, with criminal gangs allegedly tightening their deadly grip on 16 out of the state's 23 local government areas, leaving residents devastated, displaced, and increasingly hopeless. Hundreds of men, women, and children from Shagari local government area staged a mass protest blocking the Sokoto-Lagos trunk highway. They expressed anger over relentless attacks that have crippled their communities and demanded urgent government action to stem the tide of killing and abduction. The displaced residents, some barefoot and visibly traumatized, poured into Shagari town, the local government area headquarters, chanting slogans of frustration as they narrated their ordeal. According to them, the government has abandoned them to the mercy of bloodthirsty gangs who roam their villages unhindered. A resident of Rinae village, Malam Kashimu, explained that the incessant neglect pushed them to the streets in protest. He further disclosed that the armed groups attacked Askedodo, Tungar Barke, and Jantuse village, killing at least 2 people and abducting no fewer than 15 others. Among the displaced is Rabi Shehu, a mother of 5 from Jantuse village, who recounted her harrowing experience. Other villages badly affected by the onslaught include Lungu, Tungar Durua, Zango, Yan Yadu, Tungar Nanza, and Ila, where survivors recount killings, abductions, and widespread destruction of livelihood. Entire farming communities are now ghost settlements, fueling fears of worsening hunger and economic collapse in the region. In a joint statement, NEMA and SEMA urgently appealed to the state and federal governments to deploy adequate security personnel to the affected areas. They also called for the immediate provision of food, medical supplies, and relief materials to the traumatized population. Efforts to reach the chairman of Shagari local government, Medawa, proved unsuccessful, as calls and text messages were not responded to at the time of filing this report. His absence has further angered residents who accuse local leaders of failing to stand by them in their moments of crisis. The Ministry of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, has vowed to ensure justice for Abdurrahim Abubakar, a graduate of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and a postgraduate student at the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, who tragically died in an accident involving mobile police personnel. In a statement, Olawande said this matter is of grave concern, as he wants to assure the family of the youth in Kaduna State and Nigerians at large that the Nigerian Youth Help Desk was established precisely to address issues of the nature where young people face injustice. The incident reportedly took place on August 29. And the victim's brother, Sabiu Mustafa Abubakar, told newsmen that the victim was struck on the head by a police officer while riding on the motorcycle. Eyewitnesses said bystanders had to insist that he be taken to a hospital. The family also accused the police of attempting to cover up the incident, claiming instead that the motorcycle collided with a car. The Kaduna State Police Command has then clarified that Mustafa was riding at high speed on Sultan Road near Garkuwa Hospital when he collided with a stationary mobile police vehicle. The passenger reportedly became unconscious while the rider fled the scene. The Ministry of Youth Development stressed that following this, they will engage all relevant stakeholders who are ready partners with the ministry, including the Nigerian Police Force, to ensure that a conclusive and justifiable response is provided in a fair, transparent, and accountable manner. The People's Democratic Parties and Obedient Movement have faulted the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, for dismissing the possibility of former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi running for president in 2027 on the PDP platform. Though yet to be officially confirmed, recent media reports claimed that Obi and former President Goodluck Jonathan have been in talks with opposition leaders about rejoining the PDP to challenge President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 election. In his reaction, Wike warned against such proposals, insisting that presenting Jonathan or Obi as the PDP's candidate could create problems for the party. Speaking during his monthly media parley in Abuja, the minister mocked the PDP's decision to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to the south while keeping the party chairmanship in the north. He noted that he had previously cautioned against neglecting this balance ahead of the 2023 general elections. He contended that Obi's return would only deepen the party's troubles, arguing that the former Anambra State governor lacked political integrity, having previously described the PDP as rotten. Reacting, former PDP National Secretary and member of the National Executive Committee, Ibrahim Tsori, claimed that Wike played a key role in Obi's exit from the party in 2022. And in an exclusive interview with Newsman, Sauri said Obi's return to the PDP would benefit both the party and the former Anambra State governor. The federal government has hinted that it may seek the repatriation of Simon Ekpa to Nigeria following his 6-year jail sentence in Finland for terrorism-related offenses. The Päijät-Häme District Court in Finland sentenced the Nigerian-born Finnish to 6 years in prison for terrorism-related crimes and other offenses. According to the judgment, between August 2021 and November 2024, Ekpa attempted to promote the independence of the so-called Biafran region in southeastern Nigeria through illegal means. While speaking with newsmen, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, hinted about the possibility of the federal government seeking the repatriation of Ekpa. When asked whether the government intended to request Ekpa's repatriation, Idris said the Nigerian government will assess the situation and take decisions in the best interest of the country. Similarly, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi-San, in a statement noted that further steps will be taken once the judgment has been officially reviewed. A fire outbreak has destroyed the radio studio of Ajayi Crowther University in Oyo State, resulting in the loss of equipment and property worth millions of naira. The incident occurred within the university campus. According to reports, the fire was triggered by an electrical surge from the studio's air conditioning system. The blaze quickly spread through the facility before firefighters arrived to contain it. Confirming the incident, the chairman of the Oyo State Fire Service, Maruf Akiwande, said firefighters led by PFS 11 Makinde quickly responded to the call. He advised the public to always have fire extinguishers and use them properly to stop small fires before they spread. Recall that on August 16, in a statement signed by the Group Head of Corporate Affairs, Fresh FM Nigeria and Yinka Ayefela Limited, Samson Akindele confirmed a fire outbreak gutted his office at Challenge, Ibadan. The Abia State Police Command has confirmed that it is investigating a traffic officer allegedly caught on video attempting to extort an auto rickshaw keke driver at Azikiwe Junction by Aba Road, Umuahia. The viral video shows a woman confronting the officer, questioning him over the alleged extortion. While the officer denied a claim on camera, the keke rider appeared to confirm the accusation and showed the money he was about to give him. In a statement issued by the Abia Police Public Relations Officer Maureen Chinaka, he says the officer involved has been identified and that investigations are ongoing at the State Criminal Investigation Department. The Abia State Police Command is aware of the trending video on Facebook. The Abia Commissioner of Police, Danladi Isa, reiterated the force's commitment to professional conduct, saying the command maintains a zero-tolerance policy for behaviors that could tarnish the image of the police. In line with the vision of the Inspector General of Police officers and men of the command, it will continue to be professional, service-driven, and rule of law compliant and people-friendly in the discharge of their duties. Troops of the Nigerian Army have killed scores of terrorists and arrested 15 others in a series of coordinated operations across the country. A military source told newsmen that troops also rescued 15 kidnapped victims during the onslaught conducted from August 29 to 31. According to the source, troops recovered a large cache of high-caliber weapons, ammunition, explosives, and illegally refined petroleum products. Providing details on the successes, the source revealed that in the Northwest Zone, troops of 17 Brigade in Katsina State and 1 Brigade combat team in Zamfara State rescued 12 kidnapped victims from terrorist captivity. Furthermore, troops also conducted successful rescue operations in the north central and southeast regions, with Operation Wild Stroke troops in Nasarawa State and 34 artillery brigade troops in Imo State rescuing 3 kidnapped victims during a crackdown on terrorist hideouts. According to the source, a combined team comprising 1 battalion rare of the Nigerian Army, other security forces and local vigilantes intensified crackdowns on suspected collaborators and logistic suppliers of criminal groups in the northwest, raiding criminal hideouts in Kebbi and Sokoto states, where they arrested 6 suspected members of the notorious Lakurawa terrorist group and seized their logistics items and cash. In Taraba, 3 imposters posing as security personnel were apprehended and handed over to the police for further investigation. The member representing Ohaozara, Onitsha, and Ivo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Nkemkan Makama, has formally announced resignation from the Labour Party. In a letter addressed to the ward chairman of the party in Amaze Ward, Ishiago community, Ivo local government area, Kama said the decision to leave the party was taken after extensive consultations with immediate family, political associates, and well-wishers. The lawmaker, who won his seat during the last general elections under the Labour Party banner, expressed deep appreciation to the party's leadership and members for the trust and support that enabled him to secure victory. Kama assured his supporters that his passion for service remains strong, pledging to continue working for the people irrespective of party affiliation. Though he did not disclose the party he'll be joining, political observers believe his next move will be to join the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, which has consistently wooed him to join its ranks. Governor Francis Nwifuru had in December last year, during the Lawmakers Empowerment Program in his Amaze community, Ishiago, in Ivo local government area, openly urged him to join the APC. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai came under attacks for alleging that the governments were engaging in appeasement of bandits. According to him, hefty sums were being paid to the bandits to keep the peace. The Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, and Kaduna State government chided him for making wild claims. He was cautioned against stoking violence in Kaduna. El-Rufai, a former APC leader, now a member of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, described giving money to bandits as empowering them to prolong their evil actions. He also delved into the 2027 presidential race, claiming that President Tinubu would be third. In separate statements, ONSA and the Kaduna State government accused El-Rufai of politicizing the security challenge in the country instead of seeing it as a collective struggle. They dismissed the former governor's allegation as not only baseless but provocative and manipulative. The statement clarified that neither the ONSA nor any government agency under the Tinubu administration has ever engaged in ransom payments or inducement to criminals. It also explained that the kinetic operations they've engaged in have led to both the capture and elimination of notorious bandits. According to ONSA, in Kaduna alone, notorious kingpins who once terrorized residents including Boderi, Baleri, Sani Yellow, Jamburos, Buhari, and Boka were eliminated. Leaders and members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Ife Federal Constituency have passed a vote of no confidence on Osun State Deputy Governor Kola Adewusi and former National Secretary of the party, Professor Wale Oladipo, over alleged anti-party activities. The resolution was reached at a meeting held and led by State Financial Secretary Prince Adesoji Adegoke, former Deputy Speaker Rokpo Oyewole, to 7 commissioners, Dipo Eluwole and B. Odunlade, alongside 35 other stakeholders. In a communique jointly signed by 39 chieftains, the leaders accused the duo of engaging in activities detrimental to the party's unity and progress. They also expressed dissatisfaction with Honorable Bimbo Ajilesoro, the Ife Federal Constituency lawmaker who defected from the PDP despite being elected on its platform. The party leaders criticized Adewusi, Oladipo, and Makinde for maintaining close ties with Ajilesoro despite his defection, while accusing them of victimizing loyal party members who distanced themselves from the lawmaker. A night of terror gripped Kwame community in Gombe State after suspected kidnappers launched an attack, killing a resident identified as Adamu Commander in the process. According to eyewitnesses, residents of Kwame had mobilized upon learning of the intruders' presence, attempting to resist the attack before the gunmen could carry out their mission. Despite the community's efforts, the armed assailants reportedly overpowered them. Tragically, Additionally, Adamu commander was captured during the confrontation and killed in cold blood. Sources said the attacker slit his throat before escaping under the cover of darkness. The victim, described as a respected member of the community, is survived by 2 wives. His death has not only left his family in deep grief, but has also unsettled many in the area where concerns about rising insecurity continue to mount. Locals are appealing to security agencies and the government to take swift action to strengthen protection for rural communities increasingly vulnerable to such assault. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has attributed the unwillingness of people of the state to participate in the ongoing voters registration exercise to voters' apathy and insecurity. This is as the Commission lamented that only 1 person has registered in Ohaji Egbema Council, while nobody has registered in Isu Council of the state. INEC said nobody is registered and no 1 person has registered in Ohaji Egbema local government areas of Imo State as well. The PRO for INEC in the Imo State, Dr. Marianne Goslight, made the disclosure while speaking on a live radio program. However, coordinator of Electoral Rights Protection Network, Mr. Udochukwu Chukwu, said the apathy was as a result of loss of confidence, lack of awareness, and adequate information about the exercise, both online and offline. Currently, Imo State has recorded less than 1,000 new voters in the ongoing voters registration exercise, while other states in the southwest were recording massive new voters registration. Police operatives attached to the Rapid Response Squad, Okuzu, Anambra State, have arrested 4 male suspects and recovered 2 pump-action guns and 9 live cartridges in Amansi, Oka. The PPRO, Anambra State Police Command, Oka, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, in a statement, said the operation carried out in the early hours was based on credible intelligence of a case of kidnapping where a ransom of 5 million naira was paid before the victim was released. He disclosed that the case was earlier transferred to the unit from B Division Oka. He named the arrested suspects to include Chigozie Iweku M, aged 31 years, Odumegu Chibuike, aged 23 years, Jonah Awudu, aged 40 years, and Okechukwu Nwari, aged 33 years. Ikenga said the suspects had voluntarily confessed to the crime and narrated how they conspired amongst themselves on 12 August 2025 at about 7 p.m. and kidnapped 2 victims in Amansioka, kept them for 2 days in the bush at Uwoba, Enugu State, collected ransom before they were released. The chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC in Rivers State, Chief Tony Okocha, said time was ripe for the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Chief Nyesom Wike, to join the ruling party. Okocha, who stated this while addressing journalists in Port Harcourt, said apart from Wike, the party was also wooing other prominent politicians in the state, including members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, to join its fold. Okocha insisted that former members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who contested the local government area elections on the APC platform, formally defected from their former party. Okocha commended President Bola Tinubu alongside the National Working Committee of the APC for repositioning and reviving the Rivers State APC, a development that he noted culminated in the historic jinx-breaking victory recorded last Saturday. ComfortTV.channel news returns shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. Welcome back. On business news, the federal government has inaugurated a committee to address the debt profile of Nigeria's foreign missions. The spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebi I. Ebienfa, made this known in a statement in Abuja. Ebienfa said that the exercise was to ensure that monies remitted to the missions are judiciously utilized and prudently managed in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration's financial discipline policy. He said that with the responses from missions and evidence provided, over 80% of the available funds have been cleared for payments. It could be recalled that the federal government had acknowledged the financial and operational constraints experienced by diplomatic and consular missions abroad. Still on business, the United Kingdom has disclosed plans to spend £5 million in partnership with Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, to boost agricultural trade and strengthen food systems in Nigeria and other African countries. UK Minister for Africa, Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, Lord Collins of Highbury, made the announcement while speaking at the ongoing Africa Food Systems Forum in Dakar, Senegal. He said the partnership aims to support the Kampala Declaration and tap into the vast potential of Africa's agribusiness sector, which employs over half of the continent's workforce and contributes nearly 20% to its gross domestic product (GDP). On the foreign scene, Madagascar held a ceremony marking the return of 3 skulls kept by France for 128 years, including one believed to be that of a Malagasy king decapitated by French troops in the 19th century. France handed over the skulls in Paris on August 27 in the first such restitution since it passed a law in 2023 facilitating the return of human remains taken during its colonial conquest. The skulls are believed to belong to King Touera, leader of the Sakalava people, who was beheaded by French troops in 1897, and 2 of his warriors. They arrived in Madagascar and were received at the airport by members of the Sakalava group dressed in traditional robes. Held in 3 boxes draped with the flag of the Indian Ocean nation, the skulls were driven through the capital, Antananarivo, to the city's mausoleum, where they were received by President Andry Rajoelina and a gathering of government and Sakalava dignitaries. France has in recent years sent back various artifacts taken during its imperial conquest, but each time required special legislation until Parliament adopted the law simplifying the repatriation of human remains. Still on the foreign scene, tens of thousands of international students in the United Kingdom are being directly contacted by the government with a warning: leave the country when your visa expires or face removal. The Home Office has launched a new campaign aimed at tackling what it described as alarming. In the first of its kind move, the government is now proactively contacting students via text and emails to issue formal warnings about the consequences of overstay. The campaign came amid growing concern in Whitehall about students using the asylum system as a way to remain in the country after their studies end. According to Home Office data, around 15% of asylum applications last year, approximately 16,000 were submitted by people who originally arrived on student visas. While the data does not specify how many of those were made after visas had expired, officials say the pattern is clear enough to warrant immediate action. And on sports, 13 players have arrived at the Super Eagles camp ahead of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa. The camp opened with Captain William Troost Ekong, Amas Obasogi, Felix Agu, and Raphael Onyedika among the early arrivals. 9 more players breezed into the team's 4 points by Sheraton Hotel. The players are Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassi, Fisayo Dili Bashiru, Ola Aina, and Bright Osai Samuel. Other latest arrivals are Moses Simon, Chiedozie Awaziem, Adebayo Adeleye, and Benjamin Fredericks. 10 more players are still being expected in camp. The team will have their first official training session at the practice pitch of the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Still on sports, Aston Villa's latest recruit Jadon Sancho has identified both Unai Emery and Marcus Rashford as the 2 men who convinced him to join the club this summer. The former Chelsea winger spoke to the club's TV after joining Emery's side from Man United. Aston Villa had on transfer deadline day signed Sancho on a season-long loan from the Red Devils. And that's our news bulletin for today. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. Sokoto residents protest bandits' grip on several local government areas. Ministry pledges transparent probe into ABU students' death. PDP obedience tackle Wike over Jonathan Elby's statement. Federal government may seek Ekpa's repatriation and after Finland's 6-year jail term. Fire destroys radio studio in Oyo Varsity. On business news, Nigerian government sets up committee to address foreign missions debt. And on sports, 13 players hit Super Eagles camp for Rwanda-South Africa games. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. I am Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed.